Hello there, World of Tankers, I'm Blitz, and in today's video, we're going to be talking about the T25 Pilot 1. This Tier 8 American Premium Medium tank it's a decent one at that, but in today's video, I'm going to be breaking into everything you need to know about the vehicle, the statistics, the armor profile, and everything else. But starting off, how would you be able to acquire this tank? Well, I got bad news for you, because this tank is in crates. I don't think there's anybody out there on the planet other than Wargaming that likes buying crates, but at least the crates do have charms, so if you spend upwards of $100, you should get the tank guaranteed. So that is always a good thing, which you can see they put guaranteed in all caps to act like you can get it on your first crate. But yeah, to get the vehicle, you'd have to spend at least $100 or just get really lucky on that 5%. I actually didn't mind that you got the tank for charms because you know what? It's not a great vehicle. It's not like you guys are going out there and you're all just whiffing your money at this tank like the Carnarvon Action 10 or the WZ-120 when they come into the store because the tank is decent. It's not spectacular. The thing about the 25 Pilot 1 crates that really annoyed me is that the camouflage is literally harder to get than the tank because while it does have a 2% higher drop chance, the camouflage does not have charms. So I spent $50 and managed to get lucky and get myself a Pilot 1, but there's one thing I didn't get. Oh boy, I did not get the camo. So I figured, you know what? I'll spend another $50. I got quite a bit of gold from the first containers. Well, I spent another $50 and didn't find myself getting that camo. And I don't mind if I don't get the tank because I would have gotten it guaranteed for $100. But the fact that I didn't manage to pick up that camo really infuriated me because it's a freaking camouflage. Why can't I spend some of the 5,000 or the 34,000 gold that I got from opening those containers right on the equipment here or the attachments and able to put that camouflage on? Second of all, why is there no eagle on the roof of this tank? Two questions that I don't understand. Wargaming, please reply. I would love to get this camouflage, please. But other than that, I'm going to be breaking into everything you want to know on this tank. Of course, I'm going to be getting into the statistics, how this tank plays in some gameplay, and as well, everything else you need to know about the tank. So make sure to stay tuned. Of course, if you do enjoy this type of content, please make sure to smash that subscribe button down below, because it really does help out the channel. But other than that, let's get straight into it. So, of course, I watched Meadsy's rage video on this vehicle, and there's some points that I do agree with that he made. First of all, this tank should not be in crates. It's not a great tank. Now, while I will disagree a little bit, I don't think it's actually an awful tank. If you know what you're doing, it's got good turret armor, it bounces the occasional shell. Not only that, it's got a great gun. You can see here the aiming time is pretty dang good at 3.8 seconds, and it's not really the aiming time that makes it so good on the aiming. It's the on-movement dispersion values that are really good. It's some of the best in class. So the gun is pretty dang accurate, which most of the Tier 8 American mediums have. Not only does it have an accurate gun, it actually has a great power-to-weight ratio. It's one of the best in Tier 8. You can see here that the reload isn't that bad. It's got 2,300 damage per minute, and as well it carries decent penetration values at around 190 on your standard and 255 on your premium. So I don't really mind the vehicle itself. Now, while I don't think it's a crate-worthy tank, this is where it's kind of weird for me, because the thing is that people complain about crates all the time, but this isn't a great vehicle. And the thing is that you can see there on the enemy team, they have a Progetto 46, which in my opinion is a way better deal. If you try buying crates for this tank and you haven't bought yourself a Progetto and you don't own a Progetto, there's seriously something wrong with you, because there's no reason to buy this vehicle when you can get yourself a Progetto. And the thing is that I'm not going to rage about the vehicle because it's just not a good tank. Wargaming is asking crates for it. There's a simple way to let them know you don't want the tank. It's called don't buy it. It's obviously not the best of Tier 8 mediums. It's obviously not worth it to buy in crates. The only reason I bought it is because I wanted to make a review on it and I want to collect every vehicle in my garage. But other than that, it's obviously not worth the price tag. So don't spend, well actually, you know what, let me fix that. It's worth the $2 crate bundle, because I always say that's worth it. Even if it's the worst tank in the game, it's still kind of worth it to spend, I don't know, 10 bucks and maybe get a Tier 8 vehicle, plus some gold and free experience. But overall, the tank is not worth the gamble at all. And I do agree with Meadsy on that. It's not worth it. There's many other vehicles you can buy, literally for $15. A 112-2 and as well a Type 62 Dragon are for sale in the store. So in my opinion, if you bought crates thinking that you were going to get this tank, or you bought crates and then you're yelling at Wargaming that this tank sucks, it's also half of your fault, because you shouldn't have bought crates. You should have either waited, one, for Meadsy's video to come out, which literally came out as soon as the tank came out, or second of all, you just shouldn't have bought crates on a vehicle that's not good when you could have gotten an excellent Tier 7 light tank and as well an excellent Tier 8 heavy. So that is my personal opinion, or the Progetto, or any other Tier 8 medium at that. Even the Super Pershing is quite a solid Tier 8 medium. So that's my personal opinion on the tank. But in that time, you have seen that it's not a bad vehicle. That's where I will disagree with Meadsy. I do think that it's actually a decent tank. Not only does it earn great credits, you can see 86,000 for that 3,000 damage game there. It's also not a bad vehicle. I'm averaging about 2,400, 2,500 damage, which is about average for most of my tier 8 mediums. Now, of course, there's some mediums like the Chimera, which I'm averaging more, but on average, I'm really not doing statistically bad in this vehicle. The issue is that I try and play it aggressive on a hold-down position, and the hull is very weak on the tank. Like, it's paper thin. It's got a T23 E3 hull. So if you end up exposing too much of your hull armor, that's when the tank becomes very weak. So I was going to post this video earlier today. In fact, I was going to post it as soon as the tank came out. I was going to play it, which I did buy, and I played this game as soon as the tank came out. But the issue was I was sitting on about 0 hours of sleep. I played Blitz all night because I was actually having fun. I was playing a different game with one of my friends, and, well, sadly, I was like, you know what? I did get the vehicle, but I'm not going to be making a review on it because I'm just going to be speaking gibberish, and I'm not going to be able to make a clear decision in my mind about the tank, because Meadsy made his video as soon as it did come out, because, of course, he has NDA, he's able to play it before. So, Meadsy made his opinion, and I wanted to get really a clear, honest opinion and not be stuck in the middle. So, on my honest opinion, I don't think it is a bad vehicle. You're going to see in this replay here, this is kind of the Goldilocks replay. I'm up against some pretty tough tanks. A Kampfpanzer 70, a Vickers CR, and I absolutely smashed that Vickers CR. Now, granted, he does bounce 2 stupid shells on my tank, but I still played the tank right. I played it aggressive. The great things about this tank, first of all, are that it has a great power-to-weight ratio. As I said, this has one of the best tier 8 power-to-weight ratios in the game. So what that means is when you use this tank in the correct positions, you're able to get there very quickly, and you're able to hold them. And while maybe your hull armor isn't the best, as long as you do know how to hide it, it does do a good job at ricocheting the occasional shot. And the thing is that I don't really try and bounce the shots in the hull anyways. I kind of play this like a light tank, where you don't really have good hull armor. You've got decent turret. This is kind of played like a Vickers light. You kind of peek whenever you can, use your turret armor, and then you pen the shells. You can see here again, that aiming time, that dispersion is great. Able to dome that Action 10 right in the roof there. Again, aiming in on the Action 10 side now, it's got a great gun. And while it doesn't necessarily have the most damage per minute, it still is able to get shot after shot after shot out. So there you go, playing aggressive. And here comes the Vickers CR. And he's got even more HP than me, but I'm like, you know what? I'm not going to take this. I'm just going to rush this guy. I've got my IS-8 here, and this is where the tank actually does decent. It's got very thick track, so it's able to absorb a lot of shells. And this Vickers CR went from like, oh boy, I'm going to rush this guy, to, oh no, I'm going to run away. And you can see here, with a couple lucky bounces in the turret, I was able to block 700 damage and whip that Vickers CR right out of the game. And I cannot tell you how happy that made me feel. So now again, I'm going to use my excellent mobility. You can see already zooming back up to 50 kilometers per hour and able to flank behind this Kampfpanzer. Kudos to this IS-8, by the way. Who is the player's name? We're just going to call him Rock. Good job to Rock if you're watching this video, because you did do a great job helping me, and we couldn't have won this game without you. But you can see here I'm using the mobility of this tank. It's great for circling at people, and that's one thing Wargaming says in the advertisement as well, is that it's very good for circling people, which I will 100% agree there. You can see it's just got such a good power-to-weight ratio. Its traverse speed is amazing. So you use that traverse speed, you use the power-to-weight, and you're able to get to the side of heavies. You're able to get in the positions that other mediums can't as quickly, and you're able to do a good job. And the way I would compare this tank is, you know, you can say it has no armor, but an AMX CDC has no armor, and it's got very similar statistics to this tank on the mobility. It does go way quicker, but it has a similar power-to-weight ratio. It's actually a little bit slower on the traverse, if I'm not mistaken, and they got similar damage per minute values, just about a half a second longer on the reload for this vehicle. So not even half a second, it's like 0.2 of a second. So the CDC is a very similar playstyle, and that is a very good played tank. So I played this just like the CDC. I pretty much think that, you know what, if a shot's going to hit me, it's going to pen. But you can see here, I did good. 4,263 damage, got 117,000 credits. Now, just because I did spectacular in a lucky game I played in this tank does not mean it's a great vehicle. It's good, but I don't think it's great. It's only really good if you know what to do, and that's where the issue is because for the average player, I don't think that this is an easy tank to play. In fact, if you're an average player, you're probably going to do very poor in the tank, and I'm not saying anything bad about it. It's just that it's not easy. When I first pulled this thing out, let me see if I still have the Let me see if I still have the first battles here. So the first games I pulled out 676 damage. I did 1200 damage. Let's see if I have any other bad games pulled out in it. The third game I did 2000. So I started to get better in the tank, as you can see, when I started pulling it out more and more. I was doing decent in it, 2800. So I definitely wasn't doing bad, you can see. But the first couple of games I really did struggle in the tank because I was playing it too aggressive. I expected that turret to take shots, which it does, but the hull doesn't. So you can play the tank well, but you can't play it super aggressive. So there's a specific playstyle for every vehicle in the game, and well, I'm not sure why I'm looking at the T44, but yeah, the Pilot is long gone in my entire list of vehicles, but I definitely think that it is a pretty fun tier 8 medium, but don't spend your money on it. That is the ending conclusion. If it was to come in the stores for $50, I still wouldn't say it's worth it, but if it came in the stores for 20 bucks, I'd say, you know what, or $30, I'd say, you know what, it's decent, it's not bad. If you wanted to buy it, it's not a terrible tank, it's just that it's not good. And when you can get a vehicle like the Progetto 46 for 8,500 gold, it definitely is a better and way more enjoyable tier 8 medium to play. Not even that, like, you've got tanks like the 121B for sale right now for 15,000 gold. Frickin', if you want to buy containers, you might as well just buy the T22 medium containers because you got the same drop chance. So yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I didn't want to make such a mixed opinion. I didn't want to make a rage video because, you know, there's always two sides of the spectrum. You know, if I make a rage video, sometimes I miss some of the other points. And as I said before, I honestly think that if you're buying the containers, you are the problem as well. People always complain about containers being in the game, but yet a vehicle like the Smasher hits the store and all of my friends that used to complain end up buying Smasher and T22 containers. I'm like, well, you complain, but yet you feed your addiction by buying the containers. Don't buy them and they won't come into the game. It's simple as that. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. But other than that, I hope you're all doing well out there. Stay happy, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next one. Subscribe.